Hello there, everybody. This is Peter Beckenham, the Village Marketer. And as always, talking to you from my little Thai village way up near the Cambodian border. Lucky to be online at all today. We've had some huge, wonderful storms. Unbelievable, right? We lost the power, we lost everything, but here I am. Now, today's topic. This can explode or destroy your sales potential. This can explode or destroy your sales potential. Elizabeth, good to see you. Sanjay, thank you very much. And Jackie Blaine, lovely to see you too. Thank you. Mark, good to see you, mate. Thank you very much indeed. I truly appreciate that. Wow. Paul, thank you for joining. Cecil, good to see you too, mate. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys. Okay, here we go, okay? This can explode or destroy your sales potential. This follows a video I did yesterday, to be quite frank with you, okay? Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you very much. And Mark, thank you. Good to see you, mate, from Melbourne. I did a video yesterday about sales in particular, right? And I got a lot of messages in reply to that. So I just want to follow up and give you a little bit more help with this. Because the bottom line is, and I am no psychoanalyst, you know that as well as I do, right? But if you've ever provided an offer to someone, in other words, tried to sell something, right, to someone, and it was rejected, then maybe there's something you need to learn, okay? Because we all have had that, and we all will continue to have that. But I've got some ideas and thoughts for you in this video that you might find helpful, all right? I mean, and the reason I'm saying this is because over the last 5 days, I actually had to walk away, literally walk away from 2 prospective clients for my coaching. BJ, thanks for joining. Lynette, good to see you too. Thank you very much, okay? I had to walk away from these 2 prospects because I didn't want to be perceived as a beggar or someone who was needy. And the bottom line is that these prospects were not prepared to do some simple tasks. If they weren't prepared to do some simple tasks, then I had to disqualify them. And by the way, that's a key issue. That is a key issue. If you wait till the end, I'm going to give you a free PDF that you might find very, very helpful, right? It's how to disqualify potential people. In other words, how to stop wasting time with the wrong prospects. I've got a series of questions you can use. If you're interested, wait till the end and I'll show you where to go. Okay. All right. So back on topic. Okay. What can explode or destroy your sales potential? Thanks for the likes and the loves. That's really good. Paul, it's good to see you too, mate. Thank you. Lisa, thank you for joining. Good to see Canada in the house. Okay. We've all got these. How would you say it? We've all got these subconscious elements. Okay. I'm going to have to be careful because I'm not a medical person, right? But we've all got these subconscious elements. Right. They're like mental shortcuts that we use to make decisions, right? And these little shortcuts are like switches, right? Push them there, turn them on, pull them back, turn them off, okay? And they're all the time turning on and off, making subconscious automatic decisions for you. And that sounds pretty deep, right? So let me give you an example so it makes more sense, all right? How would you say this? Let's say, for example, and following up from yesterday's video, let's say you are asked a question, okay? And the question was, why should we hire you? Or why should we deal with you? Well, there are 2 subconscious triggers in particular that relates to sales. I mean, there's hundreds of them, I know, but there's 2 in particular that relate to sales. The first trigger is people secretly want to be led. They actually truly want to be led, right? Many people aren't happy to be leaders. They much rather follow someone else. So that's a secret trigger. And it's a subconscious trigger. And if you trigger that, people will automatically follow you without even thinking about it. The second trigger is that people like to deal with people who are already successful and who don't even need their business. In other words, the more successful you are, the less needy you are, the more attractive you become to people. So you bear in mind those 2 triggers, and now come back to the question. And the question you're asked is this: why should we hire you? 95% of salespeople will answer that question by spewing all over them, okay, all the advantages and benefits of what they've got in their company and their years in service and their customer service and their track record and this and that and everything else, right? That's what happens. And that's exactly, as I told you yesterday, what the prospect expects, right? But the smart marketers don't do that at all, right? Remember, there are triggers in all of us. One, people secretly want to be led. And two, people like to deal with people who are already successful and who don't need their business. So the smart marketer, when asked that question, why should we hire you? What they would say is, that's a pretty darn good question, Peter. But at this point, I'm not actually sure whether you should hire me at all. That's immediately what they say. That simply puts a prospect back on, oh, what's going on here, right? And they'll probably follow up and say, what do you mean, Peter? So you'd say, well, look, I don't have a clear enough understanding of your situation to determine whether I or your company or we, whoever it is, I don't have a clear enough understanding of your situation to tell you and to determine whether I'll be the best option for you. So really, when you ask me, why should we hire you? Right now, I don't know. That's the honest answer. Then, if you are a really smart marketer, you'd pause a fraction more and you'd follow up by saying, would it be okay if I ask you a few questions, okay, to get a better understanding of where you are? Then I can tell you whether, in fact, we can work well together. Does that sound okay? All right. Now, what that's doing, the smart marketer, not the typical marketer, is pulling back, right? They're pulling back on that trigger, on that mental trigger. In other words, people aren't being spewed all over. This person's almost like walking away, because unless he can get answers to these questions, he's not prepared to indicate whether, in fact, they're a good option for you. Remember, people secretly want to be led, and people like to deal with people who are successful and don't need their business, all right? So, and by the way, even if it was on a rare occasion that the person insisted, look, I hear that, but truly just tell us why we should deal with you. All I would say then, and maybe less than 1% would ask that question after you've done that answer. But if they did say that, I would say something like, look, to be honest with you, I respect where you're coming from, but I'd be absolutely insincere and I'd feel insincere if I answered that question now, telling you that why I was the best for you when I didn't even know anything about you. Please understand where I'm coming from, okay? Does that make sense? Okay? In other words, stay strong. Stay strong in front of the eyes of your prospect. If you do that, this is what's going to happen. And by the way, whether you are the shyest person on earth, as I talked about yesterday, or an extrovert, whether you've been in business for 5 minutes or 50 years, okay? Remember, if you approach sales with that mindset, with that thinking, this is what's going to happen. David, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Lisa Palmer notes off. Avoid spewing. Yeah, good point, Lisa. Oh, back on topic, Rita. If you stick to your guns and do not let the prospect control you, because don't do that. Because if the prospect is controlling you, they are really not respecting you, because secretly they want to be led, right? And if you are just following along with them all the time, they're going to think less of you. Plus, if you hold out and request that they let you question them, this is what's happening. One, they think and they feel that you know what you're doing, right? Whether you've been 5 minutes online or 5 years or 50 years, they think you know what you are doing because you're being insistent on this. And you are differentiating yourself from everybody else, right? Secondly, they think that you truly believe in what you are doing, right? Because you're not spewing all over them, right? You're holding back and you're trying to be ethical and honorable with them and get them to engage with you. So they truly believe that you know what you're doing. That's a sign of confidence in you. Thirdly, they can see that you're committed. You are truly committed to leading them through a process, a questioning process, right? Remember, people like to secretly be led, all right? Next, they also know, because you gave the impression that if you can't take people through this questioning process to get to understand them, then you'll walk away. which means in their mind that you don't need their business. And if you don't need their business, you must be darn successful. There is the second trigger. People like to deal with people, right, who are already successful and who don't need their business. So there you go. This is counterintuitive sales. Does it work? Absolutely, it works. It's a very, very powerful way of attracting prospects to you and also getting them to want to deal with you, whether you're shy or not shy, whether you're a sales expert or not a sales expert. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. It's very clever, it's very smart, it's very powerful, and it darn well works. There you go. Now, before you go, here's my call to action if you're interested. Remember, the best way to run your business is to make sure you're not wasting time talking to the wrong people. So why don't you learn to disqualify people, okay? And if you're interested in that, I've got a PDF, okay? And it's called Disqualifying Your Prospects. In other words, how you can work it out, talk to the right people and disqualify the ones you shouldn't. If you're interested, send me a personal message, not a comment. Send me a personal message that you'd like to have a look at disqualifying your prospects, and I'll drop it over to you. In the meantime, as always, thank you very much for sharing your time with me. Lisa and David, Alzira, good to see you. Okay, Cecil, all the team, thank you very much. And hopefully I'll talk to you again in the very near future. Best wishes with your sales. Many blessings. If I can help you in any way with your sales, reach out and ask me. That's what I'm all about, and that's what I'm darn good at, okay? All the best. Take care. Best wishes from Thailand. Bye for now.